I'm just going to cover a few things that I've experienced that I share with others. And I realized in some ways, because I catch myself on this, what we call repeated patterns of behavior or in the use of our energy, which is programming, an API, an AI API interface, okay, which is really the torque speed differential between what it is, and what I am, which isn't what it is, okay, because you got to know one from the other. One from the other. I'm the one, which is eternity, which is eternal love that's on fire, unconditional love that's on fire. That light is always on. That fire is always lit. Okay. When you have experienced that in your own heart and soul when you're 4 years of age, the rest is easy. Right? It means you know who you're with, the one you're with, the one your soul is with. You're with the one. You're with the highest superconductor. Female, gold. Male, silver. The X chord. Parachute cord. Hey, we landed. Yeah, enemy territory. Whoa, the parents are here. So I talked about dialing the phone, right? So I catch myself because I realized over the last week, I got to slow down on this phone. I'm supposed to throw it away almost a year ago. Get rid of it. Remember back in childhood, we never used phones, right? Communicate with trees, communicate with everything that's in nature. They pick up on your signal, your music, right? Yeah. Playing music with nature. She's out there. She's experiencing your spirit and your signal and your tunes. Remember Daffy Duck, Bugs Bunny, Warner Brothers? Right? Daffy Duck, Road Runner, the vortex of that Road Runner. Remember? Smiley with his remember his nitroglycerin? His always using dynamite and blow things up, trying to get the Road Runner. Road Runner was just too quick. He must have been running on a superconductor. So I was just for those that experience this through the grid, through the AI, okay, interface, because I put this information, which is my light, which is purity, because my unconditional love is pure, okay? Love is the absence of fear. So you realize that they're fear-based because why would they need to put anybody under surveillance? Right? That means they're putting themselves under surveillance, which means they can't hide either. As above, so below. See? We see you. We see everything they do. Right? So the guardians see everything that's going on. Have to. That's the highest state of awareness. Now I'm aware of what's going on that isn't supposed to be going on. How do you know? The signal. The energetic signal. So I wrote a few things down because I thought earlier when I went into the kitchen here to make a salad, right? I began reflecting on my own childhood with my own mother. So I'll just give you an example. I met a friend walking on my way to school, right? Hey, how you doing? Oh, I met another bean. Where are you from? Right? And we walked to school every day because he was walking to school up to the high school when I was a sophomore. And he was walking to the school. This is the guy whose old man was a former Hells Angel. He was a mechanic, so the bikes were always over at his house, right? And so as him and I are walking together, and I brought his energy over to my mother's house, my mother told me that I don't want him over here anymore. I don't want you hanging around him. You know what she's actually saying, right? I'm reading his energy field. I'm reading his codes. I'm reading his bloodline genetic codes. I'm reading the operator of that vehicle. that energy will get you in trouble. My mother could read that? Yes. She's reading bloodline. She's reading an energy field. She's reading the purity of both the genetics, the blood, and the spirit in the energy. Okay? That's right. And that's how it works. You're reading their energy, which means when they're in an avatar, you're reading their codes, their energetic codes, their fire letters, their math codes. Okay? So you can read, are they an energy giver? Or are they an energetic vampire? Now you got to read the field of consciousness in terms of whether it's got a soul or not, right? Whether it's running flat energy, it doesn't have a soul, like a clone, a soul's clone, or an android operating on AI. So you're going to read the flatter energy, but it has the ability to communicate to you like any robot does, just like Data, right? Doesn't Data look much like Mr. Picard? He's in sort of the form and shape, but he's communicating, hooked up what? Information management system, Data. Hey, Data. Right? How you doing, Data? Remember C-3PO? You know, R2-D2? Hey, R2-D2, yeah, and look at all the stuff that R2-D2 could do. On behalf of the Jedis, right? Yeah. So you're measuring essentially who's working for who, because you can read the records. You can actually read key codes and access codes and what that being has access to, which means you're reading their library, but the key codes of what they have access to are their libraries, which are other records. What you're actually reading is how much of the universe they actually have access to. Any one universe, any one planet, any one galaxy, right? So you can read at what level they operate on whether they're a guardian or not. No, I mean a real guardian, like a parent, like a mother, like a father of creation, right? Father and mother, frequency modulation. That's what FM is, father, mother, mother, father, joined as one. Access to all the codes, access to all the records. Ever heard of a master librarian? That's a key code to all the records. Everything that has or ever will happen within a given moment. Wow. Yeah, like pH 0. What? Yeah. Matter, antimatter. Wow, you're talking about a pure state. The purest state there is. It began with the purest state of being. State, matter state, antimatter state. Which came first? Matter? Remember they used to argue that? Or we came out of the matter. Matterborn. Like the Matterhorn. Do, 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 do. I am still that little child in spirit. The spirit that's lit on fire. Yep. Don't need no training wheels. Contact. Psst. We have arrived. To gather our children. Surveying the damage. That's what it is. It's called a damage assessment. Like dams holding the water back. Right? You know what a natural world feels like when you're in a natural world? So wherever you go, you're experiencing what we are, which is what love is. It goes on forever because we're your parents. That's why Mr. Smith, Adam Smith, Law of Nations, remember, primitives, prime, evil, prime the engine, prime the pump, pull a vacuum. Oh, whoa. Vacuums. Like evacuate? Remember when Aisha Diane said? Pulse wave red, evac, 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 evacuate. It's called pulling the plug. We're out of here. Cascade, baby. Cascades. Inside out jobs. Right? So I was thinking about repeated patterns of behavior. So I've said to myself last couple of days, you realize, why are you even wasting your time coming on here for these things that have already happened? Because you're not creating anything new. Right? So there has to be some method why I would share something that's already happened if I'm not creating something new that is different. Right? Well, the words are never going to come out exactly the same as what I was experiencing before anyway. So it's going to be different than the way it was experienced when you experience it. Because you're going to experience it the way that you translate the universe that your mind lives in with your energy that is using to experience it with. Which is your mirror, not my mirror. That's called a different aspect of the same all creation. Right? Yeah. So now we're experiencing the other. So if I am what love is and I'm experiencing what you are and you're not experiencing what love is, then you're another. You're the other that isn't. Okay, so now I have to figure out what happened to you. So if I am what love is, then my love vibration will be experienced by you that hasn't. Now you're experiencing the law of one. A high-speed superconductor. Yep. Frequency modulation. That's right. Female, male. Frequency modulation. Boy, they run on a cosmic level antenna. That's called central point. Center from which it all happens. That's the hottest fire. That's right. That's the hottest fire. That's why they go after the hottest fire. Go ask the Anunnaki why they stripped the ocean of all of its monatomic gold. Monatomic? That's monopole. That's what I am. So it's stealing my gold. Oh, it's yours. No, it's not mine. I'm equal unto all. Okay, so we generate all this gold so everybody can go fast, so that you can accelerate, right? And experience more of what Father and Mother, the breath of living spirit, aloha, is creating. Jump on board the creation energy. Be what love is. There's a difference to know what love is and say, this is what love is. We can even give you the frequency. But to be what love is and to be what living light is that's on fire, to experience it, that's an entirely different question, isn't it? So that's why we can measure the planetary consciousness terrain. Actually, we can measure it wherever we're at. It makes no difference where we go in the entire multiverse of all creation that came out of what love is. If we're experiencing anything less than what that is, then we're experiencing something less than what we are. And that's called a measurement. There's only one metric with one law, and that's the highest superconductivity law, which is the highest honor code, which is what love is. See? So that's why a lot of times, even when I go into channels like Galactic Talk, what I'm doing is I'm experiencing the response. And I can actually experience the resistance that they have to experience what I'm experiencing, the way they can experience, the way I do, with the purity of that light. So I'm measuring the resistance by virtue of the artificial intelligence, which is the difference in torque speed between that communicator and my communicator, because I'm measuring the resistance to the communication. That's right. We can measure the resistance in the communication being online with any channel. Not only what branch directory you belong to, which means what parent branch, which is coded seed. Okay, but whether your seed codes are out of order as a result of what's been done to you from what you once were, from which you first began, what you were in energy, from which you were born, from your creator. That's access. That's key code access. Okay. Before you became what you are now, what you're experiencing now, being what you are now, or what you're experiencing in energy now. So what that means is that I know that certain individuals on different channels do not experience what I'm experiencing. But the only reason that that's made manifest to even know that is to experience and translate the difference by being in the network. Logging in and out of networks. Now I'm in your network. Now I'm experiencing your network. You see how that works? So you're measuring the speed, torque speed differential. So if there's any delay, then that's called tape delay, which is recorded delay between what gets recorded and thus experienced. See? So that's why you realize you're in a simulator. It takes time to number crunch all that stuff and then record it, and then record the next one, record the next one, record the next one, record all the recordings that are taking place. See? That's why I realized on a number of occasions, depending on where my energy happens to be as it's fluctuating, within the grid mechanics, that I can lock the phone up. My own phone. Right? The other day, I had it so that I could disconnect the Wi-Fi, a 5G router. It just went off in the house. And then I realized a little while later that all of a sudden, whoa, the light came back on. So I was affecting the power in the house. But that's not that unusual when you're on the main engine, right? This is the Big Island is a powerful accelerator out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, right? Yeah, that's why I love this rock. Mama's big ass rock. So it works a little different here. When you're tapped in, you're very powerful energy on this rock. Like yesterday when I went out to the tree. Wow. I was experiencing being one in spirit with all living spirits that exist in the entire all creation. Like they're all on board with us. All the living spirits are with us. And that naturally comes when they acknowledge the energy that is represented by you in spirit, the amount of fire that you have, which is the amount of love that you have for all living spirit, the all creation. That's why these are eternal glyphs, these are eternal blessings, and it's like these are eternal blessings that I give to myself, but I share them with everybody else because you're experiencing the eternal blessing of being able to experience eternity. What it feels like to experience eternal love in your own heart, and the way that kind of love communicates itself to everything that is alive and living in nature. And that's what makes it so beautiful to know that you got everything that you need. In energy, which is your consciousness, which is your soul, or your spirit. Which means you could be sitting out on the beach, you could be sitting in a forest, you could be sitting in a vehicle, you could be sitting in a library, anywhere. Wherever you happen to be aware of what you are in energy and actually feel through your heart and soul, I've got everything I need. Being by yourself. Even though you realize everything that is out there, that is all happening, so many things are happening, so many things that are happening. And this is where the control issue comes in, okay? If you're not seeking to control anything else, right? Because this is how it plays out. When you drive down the road, okay? It's just like I'll get here. Here's a good example. There used to be a guy that I hung out with for a very short period of time. And this just happens to be the way his mind's energy works as a result of prior experiences, right? That informed him of these things. Where did they come from? Remember Dark Mother Creations? So we're driving down with his girlfriend in the car, and then he's watching a vehicle up front that's got tires in the back. And his thoughts in his mind is that those tires are going to come loose, like something's going to happen to that vehicle. And those tires are going to come off the back of that vehicle and start hitting our vehicle, cause us to go out of control and crash, and somebody might get killed. Whoa, he's using his mind's energy to manifest that in his own mind, and now I'm experiencing what he's experiencing. I'm not giving energy to make that happen. Oh, no, no, no. Put those tires back in. We're going to make it there just safe and sound, baby. We're going to make it right where we're going. We are what love is. Go with the flow, baby. Now, we made it into town. See? But this is where all the fear-based stuff comes in, because then they begin to manifest those things in your mind, and now you begin to realize why all the programming and everything that they present through all their cartoons, all their publications, all the sublingual stuff. Right? Neurolinguistic programming. Holographic inserts, cut and paste. The speed of the wave burns anything up that isn't what we are. Nothing gets through. Right? Now you're experiencing what we are, which means you're experiencing our codes. Right? Now you know what branch you're with. Now you know who your mother and father are. Your father and mother joined as one. The breath of aloha and living spirit. Right? Yeah. So when you're experiencing what love is, you're experiencing what we are. Now you're free. Right? If you are what love is, it means you're doing no harm. So why would I want to keep track of you? Otherwise, I'm holding your minds captive to me, which means I'm now holding your energy in my memory. Do I want to hold it there in memory? Do I? Well, if it's in memory, then I'm not experiencing the now unless I'm experiencing something that happened in the past, but the past is already gone. Move on. What about the future? The future's not here yet, is it? What about all the other beings that I don't have any control over what they may do? Very good. I got no control over them. Because I'm not in the business of controlling what other units of energy do. Because if I'm using all my energy in order to keep track of what everybody else is doing so they don't do anything wrong, right? Then I'm not using any of my energy to manifest something right now, which is what love is. So love is the absence of fear, which means love is the absence of control. They're simply not there yet. That's why they have to control everything by having the data to everything. Oh, flag all the data. You find out an algorithm here that's doing this or that, right? Oh, now I get to make a decision because now I realize, look what the data is telling me, right? That's why they're locked in these jobs, in these cubicles, and these screens all day long. They're not spending time going down a ski slope at 60 miles an hour in Switzerland or France or Austria in the Alps. You don't see them out there on the waves surfing the beach with Mama Earth, right? Spending all their time in nature to commune in spirit with the great living spirit of Mother Earth, do you? Well, they're stuck in jobs. You know what a jobber is, right? That's a code. That's a job code. That's a labor code because they're a slave battery to that same corporate system. Okay? That's all. They're just expendables. You know, the emperor has no clothes, bare ass naked, right? Oh, I dare not see me that way. When the emperor realizes he's equal unto all creation, then he's with us. That means he can sit around a campfire and realize he's just as welcome at our campfire because we love him too, and her too. Because it began with us. Energetic vampires did not create what love is. Okay? Love is on fire. We're on fire to give energy away. That's what scares them, because they can't control that energy, because it was born out of fire. Water worlds, keepers of the flame. Keepers of the flame.